You've been in the seat over a year now. You've decided to run for a full term. Why?
Yes. I am running again, to keep the word that I gave when I was appointed. It is my desire to continue to serve the citizens of Grand Rapids, in particular, the residents of the Second Ward. I get a tremendous amount of joy out of serving. It's part and parcel of who I am. And so this is a great opportunity for me to give back. I have been very active for the time that I've been here in Grand Rapids. I've been very active in neighborhoods, been very active in community, been very active in trying to create a more equitable Grand Rapids. And so I'm running because I think that I'm able to bring some gifts and some skills to the table that will help in the city as we continue to transform.
What do you think your accomplishments have been and what still needs to be done?
I think accomplishment-wise, I think that my ability to bring to the table a different perspective based on just my lived experience. I happen to, in my day job, run a historic civil rights organization, the Grand Rapids Urban League, and so I'm bringing to the table some perspectives that aren't often considered, I think, on a regular basis, and that is just the understanding, getting an understanding of some of the historical context of our city, of our nation, of society, and really being able to speak to some of what's happened in the lives of those who have been historically marginalized. I think bringing those types of things to the table would be considered an accomplishment, coupled with, again, just very, very active engagement in community across the city, whether it be promoting parks, promoting our public school system with GRPS, promoting transit. It has really been about trying to create more opportunities for all people.
As Urban League leader, do you feel sometimes you're walking a rather thin line between being a policymaker on the city commission and being an advocate, obviously, for the community? And you've seen some of these issues boil up, especially in recent years, police community relations being the number one. So do you see your position with the Urban League as a help or a hindrance to your spot on the commission?
I really believe that my role at the Urban League helps significantly in my role on the commission. I think in many ways you have those two titles, those two roles that are inextricably tied together, because ultimately, what the Urban League desires is to have a community that is inclusive, that is just, that is peaceful, that is equitable for all people. And I think that is in line with what I want here as a commissioner and what I believe my colleagues on the commission want. I think, again, some of the experiences that I've been able to acquire by way of the Urban League have helped out tremendously in my work at the commission table. So I never really see it as a significant conflict, but actually see it as very much a help.
You use the word hindrance, I should use the word challenge. But what's going forward? What are some of the goals you set for your next term if you're reelected?
I would say some of the goals that I have set moving forward is I really, really want to continue to work diligently on the issue of affordable housing. We are experiencing a housing crisis currently in Grand Rapids, and affordable housing in particular. There is a significant amount of tension that has arisen within our community because you have individuals, you have families who cannot afford to live in the city, but this is where they've lived. This is where they need to live because a lot of the amenities, the services, and their family members live in the city. But in many ways, they have limited options to live in the city because they can't afford to live in the city. And so they're being forced in many ways to move out to the first ring suburbs or even consider leaving the area as a whole. And that normally are individuals who have been historically marginalized. These are individuals and families who are of color. And so I think it adversely affects our ability as a city to be diverse, to be inclusive, to be equitable. And so I want to continue to focus on that with the laser beam focus. I think as a commission, we've done a very, very good job in trying to get at that, especially with regards to where we're putting our money where our mouth is in terms of our budget and our priorities on the budget. Another issue that's near and dear to me is trying to find that place of peace, trying to find that place of commonality with regards to police and community relations. I believe that we can have in Grand Rapids the model police department with regards to not just being one of the most well-trained departments, which we are, but also a department that is known for their regular use of empathy, their regular use of remembering the importance of humanizing the other, and most importantly, a police force that really commits itself to significant focus on de-escalation. I think that we have an opportunity to create these conversations, to have the civil discourse between neighbors and law enforcement, and for us, again, for each side to be able to see each other as human.
Getting back to the housing issue, how difficult is it to balance that when you consider you've got some neighborhoods, and let's just take a ride down to the Third Ward, down Wealthy Street. You've seen what's happened there. The housing has kind of followed suit in a lot of areas. You've got economic improvement. You've got neighborhoods thriving right now. But then there is the end result that some people can't afford to live in those neighborhoods anymore. So how do you balance the economic benefits with the affordable housing?
It is a significant balance because you don't want to turn your, you don't want to turn away from the significant economic impact that's been made on Wealthy Street, as an example. However, I do believe that there is a way to have that same type of economic impact in a way that's much more equitable, to where you have more people who are able to benefit from it, whether it be by way of ownership of properties on a major thoroughfare or the homes that make up that neighborhood in terms of home ownership. I think ultimately it comes down to just being very, very intentional in terms of what we're promoting and really what is it that we as a city want to be? Because I think that the jury is still out. I think that we have an opportunity right now in Grand Rapids to be, I keep on using the word, a model city, to really lead in the area of showing what it means to be the best medium-sized city in the country. And I think the center of all that has to be focused on equity. How can we have a more equitable Grand Rapids in which more and more people can prosper, regardless of their zip code, regardless of their genetic code?
It's what the part we call open mic time. You have a chance to state to voters whatever we might have missed that you didn't get asked, or whatever you want to say. So go ahead and.
Am I looking in the camera or looking at you?
Look at me or the camera. Either way.
Okay. I tell you, my goal is simple. I want to be part of the transformation that has been taking place in Grand Rapids. I've enjoyed immensely the challenges that I've had to face as a commissioner since being appointed last February. We are facing some very, very difficult times with regards to creating a city in which more and more people can prosper, and I'm up for the challenge. I will tell you that my hope is that the residents of the Second Ward will give me an opportunity to continue the work because it's a work that needs to be done. It's a work that requires, I think, a real commitment to civility, a real commitment to empathy, a real commitment to really recognizing the importance of treating everyone with dignity. And so I'm hopeful that come August 8th, I will have an opportunity to be reelected and to continue to serve the citizens of Grand Rapids, in particular those who reside in the Second Ward.